welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Daryl here.
And I'm Josh, and today we're here to give our overall review of the Season 2 of Daryl Dixon, Book of Carol.
Yes, another Walking Dead universe series, season series is completed. One season, Season 2 of Daryl Dixon, which I think they should just call Dixon, because I really like when they just call Daryl just Dixon. It's just awesome. Just sounds cool. Dixon. I love it. Yeah, guys. A very interesting season, which we kind of expected when leading up to this. This whole series has been very interesting just from the start. So overall, what'd you think of the story? We'll get to the kind of the story first. We'll get into characters, kind of things like that. But overall, story-wise, what'd you think?
I thought it was good. I thought I kind of enjoyed the continuation of Madame Genet into the second season. And not just this one villain, one season type
one and
stuff.
Done.
Yeah, that we usually got. I thought the story was overall, decent.
So were you kind of still? Did you lax up a little bit with the whole Laurent the storyline of him? I mean, we understand why they feel that he's the one, right? That he's going to be this messiah is because of the stories that have built up around him with Lo Sang, and everything has just been built to make people believe that.
Yeah, once they turned it more into he's a possibility to have some type of cure.
Last of Us, yes.
Once they revealed that, then yeah, it made sense. Especially being in a religious area, it made even more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you could tell I wouldn't really say they backed off of the Messiah stuff, but Lo Sang and his group continued pushing that narrative. But it made sense once they kind of revealed what exactly he was there for, his purpose.
Yeah, it was good overall. I mean, I know that we kind of mentioned back and forth, for you guys as well, that we didn't like it as much, or, the religious aspect is getting pushed too much. And it's not that we're against religion and against, we've seen these in shows, we've seen these, with other characters who are kind of part of cults. They have this this overall view of the world, this mentality that they give to their, I would say subjects, but to the people who follow them, right? And it's just like anything else, with even religion now. I mean, you believe what you believe. You have the books and things like that. So in this world, it's just they believe, almost like a Last of Us type situation, is that they believe the boy, because his mother was bitten by a walker and he survived, that something is special with him. They've already seen him grow up, be special, and he is a special kid. But they've pushed it a little too far, where they're like, well, we're going to prove this.
Yeah.
By letting him get bit.
But
we're going to see him just stand there like, I'm alive.
To the religious stuff, they're in a very religious
day one
part of the world.
Yes, they are. France? Oh my God.
Yeah. So and I didn't have any problem with it. My only problem was I am a Catholic, and to hear that being put into a show is kind of weird for me.
Yeah.
But again, once they revealed what exactly he was there for, made sense.
Definitely made sense.
And some of those, like Lo Sang, and especially his side chick,
she was full in. She was all in.
Yeah, dude.
She believed.
That cult mentality.
Yeah, that definitely mentality. So the Madame Genet stuff, I truly loved. I love that character. The actress played an amazing character.
Hell yeah, dude. I loved the backstory of her.
Oh, it's super cool. Yeah. Working in the Louvre, seeing the precious paintings that were there. And you always get that in kind of like an apocalyptic type movie or show where people, they want to preserve history. They want to preserve these things. Most people are like, who gives a shit? But there are people out there that are like, well, if this is the end of human civilization, we have to save pieces of it so that further generations will understand that this is how it was back then. This is the history of our world, or history of our country, blah blah blah. So I love those people that want to preserve that.
I liked her character almost had a alpha type feeling, where she was kind of nothing before the apocalypse.
Now, being a janitor, we're saying that's
no,
not
no,
nothing.
No, that's not what I mean.
Yeah, we're not talking about her job.
That is not what I mean.
That's not what we're talking. That's what I just had to say there. That's not what we're talking about. Okay.
No, what I mean by that is
like
her personality. She was afraid to become or to be that strong character and stick up for herself.
Yeah.
And Alpha was kind of the same way, a little bit more crazy, because Alpha was a very sick individual.
She was.
And the apocalypse made her want to be that person.
This brought it out.
Was kind of similar to that, but I love what they did with the backstory of Madame Genet.
Yeah. The crazy thing about her was then, working with the scientists her crazy vision was to build a super walker army. That's what we finally got that revealed before she ended up dying, is that she wants to build a super serum walker army to unleash across France. And we know
Which didn't make any sense at all.
It didn't. I mean, we know that the burners, they were part of the serum. They were they accidentally changed to these burner acid type situations, and they escaped. And that's why there's random burners out in the world, because those were test subjects that escaped. But not all super serum walkers are burners. But yeah, it was kind of weird that her goal is to build an army that you can't control.
Yeah.
But you just want to unleash death across France? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But then when they come to your gates, what are you going to do? Well, you do have firepower, you do have walls, but you don't want to kill your army, right?
Which in the end of the day, at the end of the day, we never truly found out the fate of the scientist.
No.
So he's still out there.
He's still out there. Yeah, we don't know if,
so is he our next villain?
Yeah, because we still have Madame Genet's
Yeah,
second in command, who's still alive.
Let's talk about that chick. I don't think she's strong enough to become the new villain.
She gave power to Lasang. She was like, here, go ahead and take it.
I think she was more of just in the background, like, hey, whoever wants to be the bad guy, I'm going to let him be the bad guy. And I'm just going to sit back in the background and just chill.
I'll give you my resources.
Exactly.
You do what you want.
Exactly.
Do your thing.
But I could definitely see, we don't know where the scientist is. We don't know what he's up to.
Yeah.
I could very well see him being the next villain. And also, we've heard them wanting to get American walkers, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm almost wondering,
so cool.
Exactly, right? But you and I have always said, we love the true variant walkers, the ones that in the last episode, or was it the last episode or last season of The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
We're picking stuff up or climbing, those true variants. Could the scientist be you and I have always been under the impression, because of the World Beyond credits scene, that the variants started in France, right?
The whole thing potentially started in France, but the variants, yes.
What if that's not true? What if the reason why the scientist is going to America is to get those variants and bring them over?
Right, because they mutated in America, they're bringing them over to study them, and then, of course, to enhance their abilities to what they want.
We've seen true variant walkers in the United States.
Yeah, true variant.
We've seen burners, and that's it, in France.
Burners and... Well, the super serum,
I'm not
of course,
counting the super serum stuff.
The burners are the accidental subjects.
So,
and that's,
So, to be honest, there's no real variants in France
that we've seen. Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, I love that aspect. Scott Gimple has said he wants to, there were going to be potential storylines in Daryl Dixon that reflect to the Walking Dead World Beyond post-credit scene. If a lot of you don't remember or don't know, the post-credit scene basically had a woman watching a video of Dr. Jenner, if you remember Dr. Jenner, and he was explaining that, hey, they're the cohorts that you're explaining, we don't have them here in the United States, these different types of variants, but even Dr. Jenner said the French were the first to kind of come up with a potential reasoning behind all of this, and the whole post-credit scene really is the virus potentially started in France, and then these doctors went to different conferences around the world, and boom, the fall. And these scientists tried to fix it, tried to fix things, made things worse, and they haven't dove into it yet, so we're hoping that maybe in season 3 they kind of, maybe something in France or Spain's going down. I don't know.
Unless he meant the walkers themselves were the story that he's talking about.
Potentially,
and I should correct myself, Did we see a variant with that scene? And that scientist girl running at the door and pounding on it? Was that a variant?
It seemed like it because
it did.
She turned very quickly.
She was strong.
She stood up and turned around and almost like remembered somebody just shot me and went out of that door. So I'm going right there very quickly, pounding on it, and you see the dents. And this is a facility that has a very thick, secure door, and you see dents of the pounding. So for some reason, she was strong.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Maybe because of during different testing, she injected herself because of it. No idea. They didn't go into the science of that, but yeah.
But yeah, I definitely see that scientist being, to wrap this part of the review up, potentially being the next villain. I would think so.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, I think overall story, I think it did go well.
What do you think about Carol and her daughter?
So the whole flashback situation, I didn't mind at first, but it started to get a little annoying later on. And they kind of wrapped it up in the final episode, but because of that final episode was so weird, it still doesn't make sense. So according to Carol, when she was talking to Daryl saying someone came back, right? And according to her, this is just a feeling of hers came back. So she's having this feeling like, okay, I don't feel safe in the Commonwealth anymore. It doesn't feel the same, right? And so, yeah, she's never going to forget about Sophia, but I did like the aspect that she doesn't remember her face, and I get that. But, seeing the flashback at Ash's, the different barn situations, it didn't give full explanation. You kind of got it at the final episode when she was, dealing with killing her zombie self and also seeing Sophia's young face and kind of getting closures as far as Sophia's death self, I don't know what to say it, forgave her. Making her forgive herself so Carol doesn't feel like Sophia's death is 100% her fault. It's not. So I understand that, but I just think it went a little bit too long, and it was just kind of weird.
I enjoyed it. There's a line that goes, I have to remember you longer than I've known you, or longer than I've been with you. Meaning, you've been gone so long that I now only have your memory more than I have the memories of actually being with you and living with you.
Correct. Yep.
And I... thinking about that quote and watching this happen to Carol throughout this season, I really did enjoy what they did. The tunnel scene, like we described, was weird, but I loved how they wrapped up that part.
Yeah.
Both from Daryl's perspective and hers, but more importantly, hers.
Yeah, Daryl's perspective made sense because he's thinking about Isabelle.
Yeah.
I mean, someone that loved him, and that was recent. Carol's is vastly different. This is 12 years old, but it's affecting her.
The element with Ash and losing his son and seeing the memorial. Now, she did see Sophia, the flashback, before Ash. But I would imagine that having met Ash and seeing what he's going through kind of, resonates more to her and just exemplifies radiates more of what she's going through with Sophia. So
yeah, that's kind of what also helped her come up with the lie to get his plane. But
that's Carol.
But they did share something in common. They both lost children. They both felt as parents that it was their fault and they couldn't protect them. And yeah, so I mean, I get all of that. It's just because of that weird finale episode, it was just like, all right, let's hurry up and get these flashbacks done because there's better story to tell. But let's get Carol thinking better of herself. Let's get closure on it. Let's have Sophia, in a way, say, I forgive you. She remembers her face now, and Carol can move on in a better light for herself, better mental stability for her. So
yeah, I'm glad they did it that way. I just I don't know, like to me it was kind of like the Daryl stuff, the flashback with Isabelle was more powerful than the Sophia stuff. I think. Was it for you? Like, do you think so?
It made it seem that way, yes, because Daryl's flashback is very fresh in our minds because we lost Isabelle, a great character. Carol's, It was impactful, but it's kind of like it's an old storyline. It's she's still dealing with it, almost like a Maggie Glenn kind of thing too. But it's never going to go away. But I understand why they did it, to kind of push that point forward as, okay, if Carol didn't say a person came back, then it's just this feeling that she said came back, and that's what's been messing with her.
Yeah.
And that's why that they had to bring that into the story. So
Isabelle.
Dude.
That was a blow.
Such a great character.
It was a blow. You knew once she was stabbed.
It was, well, I mean, it could.
I don't know. Through the reaction, I think I said during the reaction, no, that was just a side wound. They'll change it.
Well, I mean, she was bleeding out, but Carol was like, well, it looks clean. I was like, well, let's do something about it.
Yeah.
But yes, there's, walkers coming in.
In the middle of an attack.
You can't do much about it. Yeah, I had this feeling. I honestly had this feeling, guys, that this was going to happen, because it's like, are they really going to get rid of a character just because you're bringing in Melissa McBride and Carol? Are they really? That's where I keep going back. Carol and Daryl have no romantic feelings towards each other. There shouldn't be any jealousy, but there could be. I could see it. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't know.
No,
not jealousy of romantic feelings. I think jealousy of something else. But Isabelle understood that that's his great friend.
Yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with Carol coming back. I think it had more to do with Daryl's progression through the season and her dying. I don't know. It's hard. I just think that I wouldn't say his character needed that, because he certainly doesn't deserve that. He certainly doesn't need that. Daryl deserves someone.
Yeah.
But, and the crazy thing is, you can make an argument that it didn't need to happen simply because they were going to leave. Mm-hmm. She was going to go with him to America with Laurent.
Yeah, but I could kind of see it how they wrote it, of Losang. He's starting to just break down. Like, he's starting to get pissed. And he's like, he wants the boy. So what better way to hurt someone that he knows Daryl cares about? Well, killing her, I think, was just a rage moment. Because she said something to him. She sliced him. Because she had that piece of metal that she sliced him in the eye. We thought it was going to be throat cut time, and it wasn't. She sliced him across the eye, and he just went rage mode and was just like, fine, fuck it, kill her.
For a pacifist.
Yeah.
That's what didn't make sense.
Yeah, his story went kind of wishy-washy too, but
it's like, you're a pacifist. You said that to Daryl, yet you get cut and you just rage out and murder someone.
Yeah. I liked her a lot. Once again, I recognize the actress from Harry Potter. If you guys are Harry Potter fans, but she, of course, is French actress. It was a great chemistry between her and Daryl. Yeah. I loved it because, when they first met, she's very sweet. She's in the convent. She tells Daryl that, he's the messenger. He's the reason. You're here for a reason. You're here to protect Laurent. I love the storyline that Daryl was just like, all right, whatever, this is bullshit. Like, he's just a fucking kid. And the more they progressed was great. And I loved it because I loved the beginning of the season that there was still tension between them, because he decided to leave. She didn't want him to leave, and she was upset that he was leaving.
It was that first look as she walked by him.
That first look after that meeting, like, she was pissed still. Like, I mean, but you could tell the progression. You knew something was there between them, and we saw that kiss between those two was just like, wow, like, finally, like,
the I love you from her was even more powerful. Still got to wonder if Daryl knew what she was saying.
Well, Laurent told him later that but
that she loved him.
I don't know, maybe he doesn't understand French, but maybe he could probably put it together. Like, she just said something quick, like holding hands, like. She probably maybe said it, but
that was a really good scene.
It was a great scene. I didn't see it necessary to kill her. I know that the end of the storyline was to send Laurent away. They could have easily sent Laurent, Isabelle, and Ash away, but I just don't know if I just have this feeling they really had it planned to kill her, because it's like, all right, it's going to be Daryl and Carol. We can't. I mean, Laurent's not in the picture right now. We'll talk about that about season 3 afterwards or whatever for our teaser. But
it would have been nice if she would have survived, and
would have been great.
It would have. You could have done it, with Ash, like you were saying, her and Laurent getting on the plane, going away.
Yeah.
and Carol and Daryl forced to stay behind. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Because then you would have had eventually, I'm assuming at the end of the show, a reunion, between Isabelle and Daryl.
Yeah. Or if they show up in season 3, we don't know yet, but
Too late.
Yeah. I mean,
She gone.
Great character, great actress.
Very good.
I just wish that, it's part of the Walking Dead theme. It's like we meet these great characters and they're just gone. And it's like...
Well, usually it happens in an episode.
It does. Yeah.
I didn't know she was in Harry Potter. You know why? Because I've never seen it.
Yeah, you're not a big Harry Potter fan. So.
Probably going to get crushed in the comments.
No, it's all right. She's probably in other stuff that I haven't seen,
sure
but I just know that from Harry Potter.
Very good actress.
Yeah,
though.
but it was a shame. I just think, we know how originally this was pitched. This was originally going to be a Daryl Carol series. Melissa McBride had to drop out for a while for personal reasons, so they started with Daryl. Now she's back in the picture. It's just like, that's what a lot of people in the comments are like, oh, well, now that Carol's back, they're going to kill off all these great characters that we've seen. They're going to kill them off, or we'll never see them again because now it's just Daryl and Carol.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it kind of happened. I mean, we got a great ending with Falou. Falou's character was great.
What about Codron? Let's talk about Codron.
Yeah, they pushed the woman a little bit too fast.
Yeah.
But Codron, man, that dude is so badass.
I hope
he survives.
Yeah. He will, dude.
Very cool character. He's all in with Madame Genet. He believes, his I wouldn't say evilness, but his vengefulness comes out when he believes, Daryl killed his brother, and when he finds out in the end it wasn't, he feels bad because it's like, everything I've done was for what? It was like, well, it was for revenge of your brother, but you just didn't have the right information.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I love the relationship between him and Daryl. I know that it didn't end on a good note, but I think Daryl obviously understands what was going on in that tunnel. Yeah, and that he was going nuts because of the gas.
Guano bowls. Ace Ventura.
Collect the whole set.
Yeah.
I love that shit. Literally. I think he understands what was going on there.
For sure.
But the full, story of Codron and the conversation that he had with Laurent when they were up on that scaffolding was another amazing, point of dialogue between two characters.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was just Codron asking for forgiveness. Laurent basically saying, I've forgiven you. You just got to forgive yourself, man. Because if you don't forgive yourself, you're just going to have just inner turmoil for a long time, and that can totally mess with your, your mental stability. You'll go crazy. You'll just, so.
Yep.
I loved it. I hope Codron survives. I hope this isn't that's the thing. I hope this isn't the end of him.
Yeah.
Like, if we never see him again, I'll be very upset, because that's a very terrible way to write a character off.
Yeah.
That he's just running into the tunnel because he's hallucinating, and we have no idea what happens to him. That would suck. So please don't do that. But so again, Falou, his lovely woman at the end, came out a little fast. We didn't know her backstory, but it was the final episode. It didn't really matter.
It just felt misplaced.
It did feel misplaced. It really did. Like, if we saw her maybe in season 1, and then like something happened, and he didn't see her until
if
again
we saw her in the beginning of this season, like, it would have made it easier. But all of a sudden, this was literally her first episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So like,
because that's what I mentioned in the reaction. I was seeing tweets that this woman joined the cast. Like, wait, join the cast? It's already been filmed.
And I'm not doubting that they could fall for each other that quickly. That's perfectly fine. But like,
they had a slight history, but
we as viewers have never seen this character before.
Right. Yeah. Just giving him a nice end is great, but when you don't get introduced to the other piece of it, it's kind of like, all right, that came out of left field. Whatever. Keep going. I forgot her name, but the girl who ran the club.
Oh, I forgot her name as well.
Badass chick.
Yeah.
Great actress.
For being so badass, we forgot the character's name.
I know.
That's horrible. But strong character.
Yeah.
Loved her character arc throughout this season.
Yeah.
I mean, went in there, brought them to that location full well knowing that she's going to get some benefit from that, which is her character all the way. But then to make that decision that she's not going to put our survivors in turmoil. Like she's gonna choose do the right thing in the end, and then not to scream as she's getting eaten.
That's insane. She knew walkers were in there.
She knew exactly what
she knew what she was doing. Yeah, which was cool. And I love the aspect of her, you know, talking like, you know, she wanted to be a singer and, you know, not getting kind of recognition from her mother. And it was interesting where she said, when she was doing the negotiations, where she said she wanted to go home to her people. And it was kind of like, we didn't get much information about that. I was like, well, where are you going to go? But they didn't really have to dive too deep into that. But she was a cool character. I liked her just because she's not loyal to anyone. She's loyal to herself. If a deal comes up, she'll take it.
But in the end,
she'll backstab. But
she chose the right thing.
She chose the right path. Yeah. So she was really cool. I liked her a lot.
Wouldn't say it was the right path.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah. Losang. Yeah, like we've mentioned with Losang, his path. You know, he seemed like a really cool guy when we first met him, and then it just went downhill. He went crazier. But here's the thing. He stuck to his beliefs. He didn't stop.
Yeah.
And that was it.
One of the best fight scenes without dialogue, right?
Without dialogue.
That's what made it so great. We said this on the review, that the fact that no words were said.
It's just, you don't need that cliche, let's say words, let's do this typical villain things.
I'll be back.
Yeah. You know? Or just like talking shit.
Die slowly now.
Right, yeah. Just like talking while they're fighting. Like, it was just so awesome. But there's been many times where you see the ruthlessness of Daryl. Like when he was bashing his head in with a skull, dude.
Did he know that Losang killed Isabelle, though? I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I think I said in our reaction or review afterwards, he probably could have put it together because she was with Losang.
She was with Losang, yeah.
So
Losang brought her up.
If he wasn't getting what he wanted, he could have just stabbed her like he did. But Daryl doesn't know 100%, but I'm sure in the back of his mind he was probably like, Losang did this.
Yeah.
So you could see the rage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when he killed that woman and guy in the tunnel, like, that was it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you just see the rage in him, man. It's insane. Yeah, guys. The other great characters, like the Losang side, second in command, her. She was interesting. You hated her because she was just a villain and she was annoying and she was pressing on, but she took the coward's way out, dude. She blew her head off. It's like, come on, just turn. Just turn.
You know, in that situation,
but you would think
I don't think that's the coward way out.
People would, people call it cowardly because it's
cowardly because it's suicide, right?
Right, but it's anyone who, would you rather turn or just get it over with?
You don't want to be a zombie for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you don't want to turn. So it's not really cowardliness. I was just saying cowardly because people mention it in the comments and things. So
they call it that.
They call it just because it's the S word. So I don't know if we can say that without getting demonetized, but I usually don't like hearing people say the S word. But anyway, I think the flow of the second season went well. Besides the finale was just weird. It was weird. Like the first half of it was good. The second half was just weird.
After the plane took off.
The tunnel scene. If you guys don't know, there is a real tunnel underneath the English Channel that goes between France and the UK.
Yes.
It is real. It's used today. It's very amazing.
I think in our reactions, like when I was talking about that, like my only thing was, obviously I know there's a tunnel, but I didn't understand why they were going to England.
Yeah, so
right? I thought, and the only reason why I'm saying I didn't understand that is because I know in the next season they're going to Spain. Mm-hmm. So I guess it does make sense that yes, you would go to England because you're trying to go further out west, right, to get back home. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that makes sense, I guess. But
yeah, that's kind of what we were mentioning in the reaction. Not that we didn't believe the tunnel existed in real life, which it does. It was their overall plan right now is to get home. Yeah. And that's why they're going to the UK, because Falou said you could probably I have some resources and maybe some contacts in the UK, or you can find something to get you home. That's why they're going there.
Well, and then the Scotswoman was like, there's 81 more checkpoints or something like that.
Yeah.
That they were going to pass.
It said they took, because I remember hearing the woman say it took them 9 hours to walk through that thing.
9 hours? I would think that that's pretty quick.
Maybe.
How long's the tunnel? Do you know?
I had a picture on my phone. It's in kilometers too, so I don't know. But it's pretty long. But that's what she said. It took 9 hours. But I don't know if that's just for the show and not a real life estimation.
I'd be really interested to know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. We'll look it up after too.
If you could walk that in 9 hours.
Yeah, let us know if you can walk that tunnel. How long it would probably take, depending on the distance.
Is it open?
What do you mean?
The real tunnel, is it open in
It's used in real life.
It's used.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's I don't know the specifics of it, if it's if you have to pay like a toll to go through, is it more for shipping goods? But I think I think passenger wise you can go through it, but I don't know the logistics of it. But let us know, and you guys in the UK and France know about it. But we'll Google it too.
Oh, we'll Google it after this. I'm curious.
But yeah, the tunnel scene was just weird. We know all the hallucinations that were happening. They were finishing up certain story arcs of Carol and her and Sophia. We got Codron seeing his brother alive, and Daryl. The amazing. What was interesting about Daryl though was like he didn't hallucinate anything else bad with him. He just hallucinated Isabelle.
I think it was just because it was fresh.
It was fresh, but you would think like he has a lot of stuff that he can hallucinate that happened to him. Like.
I mean, there's other love interests that he probably could have hallucinated.
Why didn't we see Rick? I mean, come on. Rick's standing there like, hey, brother, get up, brother. You're my brother. That'd be sick, dude. But
that would have been sick, actually.
Yeah, but the Isabelle piece made sense.
Yeah.
But again, guys, it was these spin-offs are doing well. I know that originally. We were more hyped for, the Rick movie and then the Ones Who Live, Dead City. We weren't as hyped for Daryl just because we were just like, how the hell is he getting over there?
Yeah.
But once we found out how it all worked out, we're like, all right, made sense. And it's going well. And I do like, the budgets that they have. I think they've done a really great job, especially shooting on location. They're on location. So it's been great. It's been great. We know there's a season 3. I wish they didn't announce it so early, but there's a season 3. We will be reacting to the season 3 teaser, so stay tuned for that. But I won't say too much on season 3 right now. But season 2, I think, overall, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
So, sucks that certain characters died. Sucks, we hope we do get to see some characters later on. Hope we see maybe Falou again, unless this story is just completely done. Codron is definitely a question mark. We got to figure out what's going on with Codron. Will we see Laurent and Ash again? Are they able to, did he fly to America and that's it? That's the end of their story? Or maybe something happens and they had to divert somehow to Spain because of weather, who knows, and that's where they might pick up.
Yeah.
But so yeah, let us know your thoughts of season 2. Thank you guys so much for checking out our reactions to season 2. Once again, stay tuned for season 3 when that does get released, and stay tuned for the season 3 teaser. It's about 30 seconds long, but we're gonna check it out anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know. Thanks so much, and we'll see you guys soon. I'm Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.